$45,000 in 30 days on Etsy. In today's video, I'm going to tell you the 5 reasons why last month's sales on Etsy were over $45,000. Keep in mind, I'm also on Amazon and Shopify. Today, we're just talking about Etsy. Stick around to the end of the video because I will be giving you 5 tactical strategies that will drive top-line revenue growth. I'm not only giving you the strategies, but I'm giving you the time to use them because each phase of your business requires different strategies. So I'm showing you how to fit these into your business where you're at. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dylan Jarvis. I am a wife, a mom, and an Etsy shop owner of almost 7 years now. I'm closing in on $1.4 million in sales on the Etsy platform. And this channel is all about really giving you the no fluff, no nonsense tactics that actually work and things that I have used in my business and that I'm currently using to drive revenue. On my channel, you're not going to hear have good SEO, have good pictures. I'm going to talk about the stuff I'm actually using to drive $30,000 to $40,000 in revenue every single month. So my background is all high volume e-commerce. I worked for Zappos and Zulily, and now I sell on Etsy, also Shopify and Amazon. So something about my business is that, I've done $30,000 to $40,000 a month in revenue for years now. Now it's been very consistent month after month. And why has it been so consistent? It's because I have chosen consistent customers. And what I mean by this is profitable customers, people with high discretionary income, where they have consistent, stable income themselves. My customers are reliable spenders, and therefore my business brings me reliable income. So even though I'm always in that 30 to 40,000 range, typically November and December are my slowest months of the year. I actually liked that because it allowed me to really spend that time with family and I could slow down just a little bit. However, this November was very different. This month we hit our all-time record on Etsy, doing over $45,000 in revenue. How did we do that, and what was different this year from all the previous years? What levers did I pull in my business to make this happen? So let's jump into it. The first thing is that I raised my prices and my gross margin during a time when Etsy was driving really profitable traffic to their site. And yes, I raised my prices and my margin in key areas of my shop during a time when everyone else is lowering their prices and taking a lower margin. How on earth does that actually work? It's because I am in what I call the marathon phase of my business. This is when you have consistent daily sales. You are a market leader in several areas or categories, and you've really locked in a reliable, profitable customer. This person isn't price sensitive. They have high discretionary income. They value their time more than money. And this is the customer that you align with. The benefit of this is that you have become the destination for this person. You are the one that the customer wants. They don't have time to spend 20 minutes, price shopping to find the lowest price. They want that number one recommended product. They want the shop that really aligns with them, the shop that gives them great customer service, a great quality product, and they do this all very quickly. So this customer is drawn to you and what you offer independent of your pricing. And this allows you to raise your pricing incrementally without seeing a difference in demand. Maybe this feels just completely inconceivable to you right now. This feels like there is no way that would work for me. That sounds like an absolute pipe dream. It likely means that you have not yet made it through what I call the sprinting phase of your business. Or it could also mean that you are not aligning with profitable customers, or maybe not any customers at all. If this feels completely out of reach to you right now, but it's something that you want for your life and your business, reach out to me because I'd be happy to talk to you more about what it takes and what it requires from you to get there. So that is the first thing I did this month. I raised my prices, I raised my margin, and I saw both my revenue and my gross margin dollars increase. Number 2, the next thing I did to have a $45,000 month was I hired help. And it wasn't hiring help in the moment, it was hiring help about 6 weeks before we got to this point. So earlier this fall, I hired an amazing person. She is a fellow military spouse here in San Diego, and I have trained her to do most of my production with my Etsy shop. And what this did was, yes, it freed up my time to focus on more of the strategy and the future of the business, but it also really allowed me to grow my program, Multi-Six-Figure Etsy Blueprint, so that I could coach and train up more students to do this for themselves. So getting the bulk of the production off my plate, what this did was it raised the ceiling of the demand that we could meet. Whereas in a previous year, if we surpassed 40,000 and we were climbing up towards that $50,000 a month range, I would have certainly been more overwhelmed. And when that happens, outside of raising pricing, which I already had done, I would then extend my processing times. So that meant, instead of being able to turn around my current product mix within 3 to 10 business days, I might have extended my ship times to 1 to 3 weeks. But now, because I have hired production help, I can maintain those really tight turnaround times. And a tight turnaround time is what my profitable customers value. Alex Hormozy made a video where he really brought this to light, and he said this quote that I love. One of the easiest business models in the world is just look at what everyone else is doing and do it in half the time. I would write that one down. So if you are thinking that, the Etsy marketplace is just so saturated, there are so many ways to compete without competing on price, and this is one of them. This is one of the biggest ways. And it's one of the ways to secure those customers that are the most profitable, because they value time more than money, right? They value convenience, they value customer service and reliability, and they're willing to pay for it. So maintaining a tight turnaround time oftentimes will help you align with more profitable customers. So my customer values speed and convenience, and I am able to provide that. So it's a great combination. Outside of that, I'm also hiring someone who I call a second set of hands. Now, this is a person who I think is going to help me late afternoons or evenings. I'm still trying to find the right person for this one. It's more of a personal assistant role, so it really has to be the right fit. What this is going to do is really create space for me to be more strategic and more proactive about our different businesses that my husband and I manage. So that's Etsy, Amazon, Shopify, our rental properties, and of course, multi-six-figure Etsy blueprint. So the third thing that I did this month that got me to that $45,000 plus level was that I forecasted demand correctly. So 2 words: planning and forecasting. If you want to run a multi-six-figure business, you need to learn these skills. It's a learned skill. You become better and better at this over time as you learn your business and as you learn the nuances of your customers. So prior to starting on Etsy, I was a buyer for Zappos and Zulily. So what does a buyer do? A lot of people think, oh, you just go and you pick out what you think is cute, right? From a showroom. Not at all. I was a buyer in the action sports category. That's what I started out in. That's like skateboarders, surfers, that whole world. And I really had no experience in that. So buying what I thought was cute was not going to cut it. I actually think you become better at planning and forecasting when you learn these skills in a business where your personal preferences just cannot be trusted. That is my whole foundation of how I learned planning and forecasting. I've since worked in many different categories, but the principles are all the same. I was responsible for being within 5% of my forecast each month. And I was responsible for running portfolios that were in that $100 million range, and that's annual revenue. So that's a lot of pressure when you're in your 20s, but I learned the ropes quickly. And I apply those skills directly to every business that I'm in, especially my Etsy shop. And I also help my students apply this to their Etsy shops. So why does this matter? Why does forecasting demand accurately matter? It ensures that your cash flow is optimal, that your sell-through is high but healthy, which means you don't have 100% sell-through on anything, and you're not leaving any money on the table, which means nothing is sold out. And it also means being able to reinvest and knowing how to reinvest in the right inventory at the right time. So yes, the skill of planning and forecasting is what got me to that $45,000 plus month, but it also is what has gotten me to that $30,000 to $40,000 a month range, month after month after month, that level of consistency in my business. The fourth thing that I did was that I repackaged a lot of my marketing in a more gift-centric way. This does not mean adding the word Christmas to all of your titles. That would be very short-sighted. Because what happens after Christmas, right? Instead, I embraced a more evergreen gifting approach that would allow my SEO to work for me year-round. I also looked at ways to make items that were not traditionally purchased as gifts into highly giftable items. There are many ways to do this. One of those ways would be adding a name or a date or maybe a customer's address to that item. This suddenly makes it a giftable item, and you can oftentimes charge 15 to 50% more for that item depending on the category and the customer you've chosen. The fifth and final thing that I did to get my sales to $45,000 plus is another repackaging technique that I want to talk about. So instead of adding a bunch of new items into my shop, targeting a bunch of new profitable customers, I took a different approach. I targeted my current items towards different profitable customer segments, a bunch of different profitable customer segments with my current product mix. So I'm not adding a bunch of new items to my product mix and each one targeting a different person. You can actually keep your current product mix and repackage it towards different profitable customers, but it's the same product, right? And you do this through strategic packaging. Now, I'm not talking about physical packaging, I'm talking about the marketing. For example, different types of listing photos are better for different types of customers. You have to know what listing photo will convert that specific profitable customer segment. You also have to know what that customer values and is looking for from a description. You also need to learn how that customer prefers to see variations and what options they are used to having in those variations. You will learn this over time as you learn about different profitable customer segments and how to tightly align with them. This is a big part of what I teach you in Multi-Six-Figure Etsy Blueprint right in the beginning, because it's really at the foundation of building a shop with high, reliable, consistent revenue. The result of this is building a cohesive shop that doesn't rely on just one customer segment. Instead, you can serve and convert multiple profitable customer segments, all with using your same product mix, but just packaging it in a way where it's personalized for that customer, what they're looking for, what they're typing into search, maybe the purpose they need it for, and also personalized for the way that they like to shop, whether that means the number of options, the variations, the sizes, the colors, etc. So these are 5 strategies that I use to get my sales on Etsy to that $45,000 plus level for this past month. And these strategies are all tools that you can use in your business to, wash, rinse, repeat the same process on other months. So I hope you learned a few things from this video. If you are looking for a more personalized set of strategies for your specific business, I would love to talk to you. Along with my course, I also have a coaching group where I am coaching you one-to-one. All the advice is directly from me. You can ask me anything 24/7 for 6 months. With the students that I coach, I am constantly thinking about their businesses. When it comes to building a business, I am just tenacious about it. So when you are one of my students and you work with me and I'm your coach, that's how I am with your business too. If you are really looking for a business partner or a coach, to have in your back pocket to give you that personalized one-to-one advice, definitely reach out, because I do offer that alongside my course. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It would mean a lot, encourages me to keep making more. If you want to connect with me, you can email me, team@dylanjaris.com, or you can connect with me on Instagram @dylanjaris. I'm on both of those all the time. We'll see you in the next video.